start my recording. So we're looking for the height and the width of a shape, okay? But what are we missing? Because this isn't in parentheses, what does that mean that this is?
That means that's the area.
That's the area. Very good. So I have area equals height times width. But what set of information am I missing that I didn't have yesterday? Or that I had yesterday but I don't have today?
The height and the width.
The height, right? I don't have the height today. So I'm going to draw my shape. I know that I'm going to have two shapes because I have two areas. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug that information in that I have. So I have 6AB for an area. And then I have negative 8 squared.
Oh, I know.
Hi. Sure thing. So to find our height that we're going to use, what were we doing all last week? And what does it say that we're going to use up here?
Greatest common factor.
We're going to use our greatest common factor. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the greatest common factor of 6 and negative 8. And that's going to be our height. So go ahead and help me out. Rihanna, can you tell me what two numbers we multiply to get 6 and... Or to get 6?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Thank you. Two numbers we multiply together to get 8.
2 and 4.
2 and 4.
We
And
get 4, 2,
2 and 2. Very good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write those out. The same thing that we've been doing. 8 is 2, 2, and 2. What two numbers do I have in both 8 and 6 that are the same? 2. I only have 1, 2, so that means my greatest common factor is going to be 2. But then don't forget to look at your variables. So we have 6 with an A and a B and 8 with an A squared. How many A's do each of our numbers have in common?
1A.
They only have one A in common, right? So our greatest common factor is going to be 2A. And now we can use this as our height. All right? So when you have a problem like this and you already get your area, how you're going to find the height for your shape is going to be finding the greatest common factor of your two areas, okay? Now from here, we can plug in our new height that we have. So 2A. And then we can do the same thing that we were doing yesterday, which was that area model backwards. So we plug this in, 2A times blank equals 6AB. So 3B, thank you.
Question.
Yes.
We finna do this whole entire thing today.
Hopefully. What time is it? We have plenty of time. Don't you worry.
Get to the worksheet. Get to the worksheet.
You'll have plenty of time, I promise. All right, and let's plug these numbers in over here. So we have 2A times by blank equals negative 8A squared. What am I going to need over here, Darius? What times 2 equals negative 4? Nick, you know? Negative 4, thank you. Negative 4. I have 1A, but I need 2A's, so I'm going to need another A, right? Awesome, awesome. Don't forget to plug those numbers in. So 3B, negative 4A. And then up here, I need to make sure that I write my entire problem out. So I'm going to write 6ab equals, or minus 8a squared equals, my height is going to go first, remember, because it's height times width. I have 2 height or width, so I'm going to put them in parentheses. I have a height. I have 3b minus 4a for my width. And I guess for this, you could also put this in alphabetical order. Miss Lidikin, would you prefer this to be in alphabetical order then? Okay, so we would write this. Since that's the order it appears, our final answer is going to be negative 4a plus 3b. Because remember to write it in that alphabetical order. And that's how you factor using the greatest common factor. How was that? Was that okay? Yeah? You guys already know all the skills necessary to figure this out, which is awesome. All right, so in that the notes section that you're going to write in on the bottom, factoring using the greatest common factor, number 1 is determine the GCF of all the terms in the expression. What does GCF stand for? Greatest common factor. Thank you. Greatest common factor of all the terms in the expression. Number 2 is draw an appropriate area model with 1 rectangle for each term in the expression. Number 3 is put the greatest common factor on the left side of the rectangles. So if the greatest common factor is on the very left side of the rectangle, what does that make it? The width or the height? Trick question. Height. Yes. That makes it the height. Very good. And then number 4 is complete the model. And then number 5, use the model to write your answer. Everybody have it? Awesome, awesome. Devonta, you got it? Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and go to that back side. Whew. All right, go ahead and write this in under that bullet point. We're going to factor using the greatest common factor. Bless you. All right, these are not in parentheses, so what does that mean this expression is? My height, my width, or my area? Area, right? Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead, just because I like it for organizational sake, I'm going to label it as the area. You guys, that's not necessary for you to do it on your quiz or your test or your homework or anything like that. All right, so because I have 3 areas, how many rectangles in my area model am I going to have? I'm going to have 3. Thank you, Kelsey. Very good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my shape. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and write my areas in that I have in order. So I have 45, c to the 4th, d squared. I have negative 27 c cubed d cubed. And then I have 54 c squared d to the 6th. All right, from here, who can tell me what I'm going to do to find my height? Who can give me a hand? Imagine, do you know what I'm going to do to find my height now?
Make your factor tree.
I'm going to make my factor tree to find what, Rihanna?
Your height.
Right, my height, but what is it called? The greatest?
Greatest common factor?
Yeah, you got it. Good job. Okay, so two numbers that multiply together to get 45 are? Very good. 9 and 5. Two numbers that multiply to get 9? 3 and 3. Go ahead and circle those. Those are all prime. All right, 27. Two numbers that multiply to get 27. Joey, do you know? 3 and 9. All right, 3 and 3. I'm going to go ahead and circle those. All right, and what about 54? Deontay, what are two numbers that multiply to get 54? Two numbers that multiply to get 54. Because I see that you're already on a roll.
It's 9 and 6.
9 and 6, thank you.
Yeah.
3 and 3. 2 and 3. I'm going to circle all of my prime numbers. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and write these out for organizational sake. So I have 45 is 3 times 3 times 5. I have negative 27 is 3 times 3 times 3. And I have 54 is 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. Of all three of these numbers, what do they have in common?
3.
They have a 3. And then I see another one.
3.
Yep, they all have another 3 in common. Very good. So because they have two 3's in common, I'm going to take 3 times 3, which equals 9. Thank you. And we can't forget our variables. So I have c to the 4th, c to the 3rd, and c squared. What is my smallest exponent that I have? C squared. D squared, D cubed, D to the 6th. What's my smallest D? D squared. So my greatest common factor is going to be 9c squared, D squared. All right, where am I going to plug this in at? Where does it go? On the left side. Very good. 9c squared, D squared. And now we can solve for our width. So I have 9c squared, D squared times blank equals 45. What times 9 is 45? Thank you. Haley, what times 9 is 45? 5, thank you. 5. I have a c squared in my height, but I need c to the 4th. So how many c's do I need in my width? Good. I have a d squared, and my area has a d squared, so how many d's do I need in my width? None, right? Very good. Come on, guys, we're almost there. We've almost gotten through all the notes. You guys have been rocking it. Stay with me for just a little bit longer. I have 9c squared d squared times blank equals negative 27. 9 times what is negative 27?
3.
Good. 3 what, Devontae? Is it negative or a positive 3? Negative 3, thank you. So I have negative 3. I have a c squared. My area is a c cubed. How many c's do I need? I need 1. I have a d squared. My area is a d cubed. How many d's do I need? 1. Very good. All right, 9c squared d squared times blank equals 54. All right, what times 9 equals 54? 6. Thank you. 6. I have a c squared. My area is a c squared. Do I need another c? No. I have a d squared. My area is d to the 6th. How many d's do I need?
3.
4, right? So I have d to the 4th. Very good. Don't forget to plug those in. So I have 5c squared, negative 3cd, and 6d to the 4th. You are going to want to write your answer up here next to this, your final answer, but I don't have enough room up there, so I'm going to go ahead and write it down here, but just make sure that you always put those equal signs. So I have equals, remember, we do area equals height times width, so my height is going to go first. I have 9c squared d squared in parentheses because I have more than one width. I have 5c squared minus 3cd plus 6d to the 4th. All right. However, this is not going to be my final answer. I have to put the exponents in the width from greatest to smallest, and then I have to put them in alphabetical order. So if I'm putting the exponents from greatest to smallest, which one is going to go first? Good. So I have 9c squared d, 6c d to the 4th.
Do it really matter if they go on?
And then what's going to go? What has the next biggest amount of exponents? 5c squared. And then I have 3cd. Close parentheses. And that's going to be my final answer. Okay? Does anybody have any questions on that? I know it's a lot of work to find all of the information that you need, but it's all stuff that you guys already know how to do. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pass out your worksheet for today.